Hi everyone, I'm Tony Jackson. Here is your weekly reading for the week of 12th to the 18th of February 2018. If you haven't come across my videos before, or you haven't watched my videos before, then welcome to my YouTube channel. And if you have, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed last week's reading. It was actually the first reading I'd done after a couple of months break. And it was actually about the higher self, so it was quite a powerful process in last week's reading. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you're new to my YouTube channel, then welcome. What I actually do for each of the weekly readings is tune in and connect with my guides and angels and get a visual or an intuitive knowingness or some guidance on what I'm actually to share with you on the video. And it's usually a healing technique or a process, or sometimes I even choose one of my choose an angel card deck and choose a card that often supports the healing that we've actually just done. So what I'm actually going to share with you for this week is actually an earth healing, a healing on the consciousness of the earth, and I'm going to share that with you and how to do that in a moment. I actually did a very similar process back in the October 2017 video last year, so it's actually like we're going to repeat it, but they've given me a few additional bits of information that I'm going to share with you. Sometimes it doesn't all, don't get it all put together on what they're actually saying to me until I do record the video, so I'm actually receiving guidance as we go along. So sometimes I stop and start a bit. It's because I'm speaking to you and hearing what they're saying at the same time, and it ends up being quite interesting by the end. And I've often got some wonderful comments on how people feel that the videos have helped them, and the healing techniques are quite powerful. So let's get underway for this week's reading. So what we're actually going to do is a healing on the consciousness of the planet Earth. Okay, so the way we do that is we actually hold the planet, imagine that the planet Earth's in front of you, and then you're imagining that the Earth's sitting on your hands. It kind of feel like you need to support the planet Earth on your hands. So you've got the planet Earth in front of you there, and you're supporting it with your hands. Now in the October video, for that process, we did actually imagine that the planet Earth was crystal clear, like a crystal. I don't necessarily know if we have to do that for this one, but you can if you like. If you feel like it, you can actually now visualize that the planet Earth is crystal clear, like a crystal. You don't have to have watched the the October video. We're going to take you through the same or similar process now. Angels, guides, and higher self, please adjust my perception of the planet Earth. That's what we need to do for this week. Guides, angels, higher self, please adjust my perception of the planet Earth. Now what I believe is, and kind of what they've shown me, is that we're kind of setting up a negative expectation or even a fear-related consciousness in connecting to the Earth because of all the negative things that we see on TV and constantly bombarded with negative images of things that are going on in the world, things that are happening to the environment, all sorts of things related to the people on the Earth and the Earth itself. We're kind of setting up an expectation that more negative things will happen, and they want to actually clear that. It's almost like we get a refreshing, we can get a breath of fresh air and begin to see more positive, or begin to experience positive energies on the Earth, or positive expectations. I'll have to leave it up to you and your higher self, because I believe it's quite different for everybody. But if you follow this guidance, it will create a shift in your consciousness of the Earth. Maybe quite gentle. Some of them are quite gentle, but then it might be a little bit more deeper and profound if you need that. So the affirmation is, guides, angels, higher self, or just higher self, please adjust my perception of the planet Earth. When I say that, I can feel quite a shift in my energy. So I think that actually is allowing the higher self to do something. You may not actually know what the change of perception is till later, but by saying that, you should feel then some connection with what you're saying with the higher self. Now, the second thing that we actually needed to do was actually visualize the energy of the Earth expanding. Guides, angels, higher self, please adjust my perception of the planet Earth. Now I've said that a few times, and when you're saying that, Imagine that there's an expanding energy field around the earth, or the earth's energy is expanding, or you're just becoming aware of the powerful energy that is around the earth, like the energy of the earth. And that's just to add into the visualization and the affirmation. Let's say it one more time. Guides, angels, higher self, please adjust my perception of the planet Earth. And then we're imagining the powerful expanding energy around the Earth. Then when you've done that, all we need to do is say, thank you, guides and angels, and surrender that image to come back as a reality for you, as your reality. So you're asking for the positive expectation to come back as a reality, or the change of perception to come back as a reality. So that was the first bit that we needed to do. Then it's quite interesting because they wanted me to add in something else for you. And the thing that we actually had to add in for this week is actually our own energy field. So your own personal energy field. So what you need to do, and we may have done this before, is just get a sense of where your own energy is. Sometimes it's quite closed in. You need to then imagine that your own energy field is expanding. So first of all, just get a sense of where your energy might be at. Often enough, we are tending to close our energy, and a lot of people tend to close their energy, and it's only a natural sort of protection and coping mechanism, and even, it might be even a comfort thing where you have to bring your energy in. Every now and then we have to, well, more than that, we have to now begin to realize where our own energy field sits normally. So just get a sense of where your energy is and begin to expand it out. Expand your energy field out. You can only do this through your own senses, your own inner knowingness. Expand your energy field out as far as it can go, but it needs to still feel comfortable to yourself. So if you go too far, you begin to feel a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit like I've gone too far. Just bring it back into where you feel comfortable. So you're beginning to recognize how big and how powerful your own energy field is, and that's very important for this time too. So it's okay to bring your energy in. It will come in again. It's not like you have to keep it out there all the time, but you do have to begin to recognize how big and how powerful your energy is. And that will be different for everybody, but the same guidance. So you could add in there, higher self, guides and angels, please help me recognize my own energy field. Higher self, please help me recognize my energy. Higher self, please help me recognize my energy. That feels better for me. I was just getting a little bit of, yes, that's right. So I'm saying the right thing. I often get an idea of what I'm going to talk about, and as I'm talking, they kind of reassure me if I'm saying the right thing in the right way, or I'll get another flash or energy of what else I'm meant to talk about. So that's 2 steps to the process today. The first one, as I said, was the Earth, asking the higher self to change and shift the perception of the planet Earth, at the same time visualizing that energy of the Earth expanding, then asking that come back. I release that to my higher self and ask that it come back as reality. Now the second thing was to just ask the higher self to help you recognize your own energy field, and you can expand quite fast. Sometimes I feel like mine's expanding up to the stars. As far as you need to go, just keep expanding. And when you've got too far, when you've got far enough, you'll feel a little bit like that's far enough, and you just bring it in to be comfortable. Higher self, please help me to recognize my energy field, where it sits normally and comfortably. Now there's another part to the process. So the next part was actually about our breathing. So what actually happens is they showed me that we can actually have controlled or restricted breathing patterns. It might be only very slight, but they still said we need to adjust our breathing. I may have done this last year with you in one of the videos. The Earth Healing, as I said, was the October 2017, but there's some October 2017 video, but they've added in these 2 other processes. So the breathing one is, higher self, please adjust my breathing. They said we need to basically we're just letting them help us with our breathing, but we can be experiencing controlled breathing, and they want to shift that for us this week too. And all we need to say is, higher self, please adjust my breathing. Actually, when I say that, it feels like a relief. Maybe I had restricted breathing patterns that I didn't realize about. But anyway, that's the third step to the process. So it's quite interesting, isn't it? Higher self, please adjust my breathing. Now that's all I've been given for this week. It doesn't seem to be quite finished off. I'm wondering if they're going to wait till next week to give us the final step to that process. So I feel like there's a fourth step, but they may not be ready to give us that yet until we've done those three steps. They might give us the fourth step next week. That's what it feels like to me, but we'll just have to wait and see. So just do those 3 steps for this week. I already feel relieved by lifting off by changing the breathing patterns. I must have had controlled or restricted breathing myself. So I hope you feel a shift or a change with that. I am going to choose a card just quickly, and the card I'm going to choose is from the Angels of Abundance cards by Doreen Virtue and Grant Virtue. So when I use the cards, what I do is I like to connect to them, and the way that I do this is by bringing down a column of light. Now this column of light is just like drawing on the universal energy, which we can tap into at any time. It doesn't have to be white light, but I just like using white light. White light down through the top chakras and out through the heart chakra, wrapping that white light around your cards, which helps you to vibrationally connect to the cards and work with your cards, and you begin to receive deeper insight and intuitive messages. And it gives you great in-depth insight into your cards once you work with that white light. It's really to connect and bond with the cards. And then I like to give them a little bit of a shuffle, and I'll see what the message is for us for this week. I don't always choose a card, but this week I felt guided to choose an angel card. So the message is, God is your source. Everything you need is supplied by the infinite source of God, and your faith opens the doorway to receive. In God there is no lack or limitation, rather there is plenty of abundance for all to share. Isn't that lovely? I might just read that again. God is your source. Everything you need is supplied by the infinite source of God, and your faith opens the doorway to receive. In God there is no lack or limitation, rather there is plenty of abundance for all to share. Isn't that wonderful? Do I need to add anything else in that? I'm getting a heart energy. I'm just getting asked to, in relation to abundance and accepting abundance, I'm just getting to actually help people release any blocks or limitations in the heart. So free will and choice for us all to allow any blocks in the heart chakra to be released. I now call on the Archangel Raphael to heal and release any blocks that we may be experiencing in the heart chakra in relation to abundance. I now release any fear in relation to receiving abundance. It's my free will and choice to accept abundance in all areas of my life, and I allow the guides and angels to clear any blocks in my heart chakra in relation to abundance. Thank you. You could have blocks in any chakra, but I was just guided to clear it from the heart chakra now for you. So that's all we're going to do for this week. I feel like, as I said, we might get part 4 to that process of the earth healing next week. But for now, I'm going to leave you here. I've got a big workshop on in Wagga Wagga tomorrow at the Glenfield Community Centre. I'll put the link down below to that. Sunday the 11th of February 2018. If anybody would like to join and come along to that, you're very welcome. Other than that, I'm going to leave you here now. If you're interested in a private session with me, you can book through my webpage, which is the Natural Therapies pages, and I'll also put a link to that below. And give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this reading. I'd love to hear your comments. Please comment below wherever you see this video. I'm going to leave you here now. Look forward to seeing what the 4th step is next week. And lots of love, and bye for now.